In this micro lesson, we're going to visually see how files and file types can be different, how they're read differently, and how they can contain different sizes based on, again, what they're formatting, right? The encoding of how the information is stored on it and what is stored. So I have a folder here. You can create your own folder. You can follow along if you have Windows. In theory, you could do it on a Chromebook. Just download it as a Microsoft document. And again, you're going to use different programs in Mac, but here's how you do it in Windows, right? So I got a folder. I'm just going to do all in this folder to make it simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the feature of right-click, and we're going to use new. So I'm going to create a new Microsoft Word document and eventually a text document. So I'll start with a Word document. Let's call this, we'll rename it later. So it's opening up, and all I'm going to type in this is hello world. All right, that's all I'm going to type in it, hello world, save it, and close it. All right, that's all I'm typing in so far. I'm going to rename it real quick to test. And then I'm going to right-click new and do a text document, call it test. I'm going to open that up. It's going to open up in Notepad, which is fine. There's other programs you can open up with, and Mac has its own software for that. But you know, all I'm going to type in is hello world. That's it. Control S, save, file save, saved it. I'm going to close that. And here's one of the key points I want to take away from this right alone is if you have yours set up to view everything, view details, so like I just want to here, view details, you can see that this test docs is 12 kilobytes. It's 12 times the size of the test.txt. 12 times the size. We just saw that they both literally only say hello world, right? They both say hello world. They're essentially named the same thing. I mean, all that says one extra character for that. Why is it 12 times the size? And this goes back to when I talk about encoding and what's in the file. The test.docx has formatting, right? Look at the margins. It has margins. It has font and size and if it's bold or not. I mean, the fact that it's not bold is still information, right? Everything we have, it's one page long. It's landscape versus portrait. All of these different pieces play into effect on why this is thing. It has to store all of that information, whereas this file right here is just these letters. That is why it's able to just be 1 kilobyte. There's no font to it. You can see there's no font to change. There's no size to change. It doesn't remember any of that. It just remembers hello world. There's no indenting, right? There's no white space on the outside. It's just hello world. Now, also I want to show you is the concept of the extension, right? It is the concept of the extension, whereas it just tells what to open. So in my computer's case, docx knows to open with Microsoft Word. Right now, the default document for this TST file as I open it, again, is Notepad, but other things can open it. I can open it with Notepad++, and it'll come up and open up and see hello world. It all says the same thing. It's just this text, one line of text. I can change it. I can change my documentation to do it. So, but let's actually change so I'm going to rename this, and I'm not going to rename the file. I'm going to rename the extension to HTML, and click enter. It's going to warn you. It might become unusable. Doesn't really. What happens is, as far as most people are concerned, it's going to be unusable. But notice as soon as I did that, it changed the icon to Chrome. Now I can still right-click, open this with Notepad++. It's still hello world. It's still just that file. But now when I double-click on it, it's not going to open with Notepad. It's going to open up with Chrome, right? Hello world. Test. So this is a Chrome tab. and it's saying hello world. So really, this is a visual example of, encoding, right? So the docx has the exact same information, at least the exact same text, but there's so much other stuff that goes with it. That's why it's 12 kilobytes. Also, it shows you what the end of it is. Now, again, if I rename this is important. So if I rename this .html, and I think this is where it says it's going to be corrupted, right? It just doesn't. Oh, it's whining. It's whining because there already is a test.html. So this one up here is still 12 kilobytes. So when I double click on this one though, and try to open it, and this is all that extra information I was talking about. All this information is all these word settings, right? It's just word settings, different pieces of it. Again, but I can go back here, rename, go back to the docx, and again, it says it's Word document, open it up, and everything's fine again. So the main point for the extension is just so you can, the computer knows what to open it with, all right? So test.html, it's going to open Chrome. And when we get to HTML sections, we'll see exactly kind of what that code looks like you'd put in there, but it's still just a text document, right? You can completely code in HTML in a text document. You just save it as HTML, so it opens up with a web browser, and the web browser will react differently with it. But that is a different lesson. Again, the point is, these have the exact same text. This has extra format, extra encoding to it. This is a small visualization of what that looks like. So hopefully that helped visualize what I'm talking about when I'm talking about coding. And these are both Word files essentially, text files, but there's difference to it.